as well. How lovely. Right, this evening, I'm going to talk about something called Imposter Syndrome, which a couple of you in the home baking business community have mentioned. So I thought, oh, I'll do a little session on my thoughts on imposter syndrome. I haven't done the blog yet. We've been sort of here, there, and everywhere this week. So the blog that goes with my lives, that will appear tomorrow. But I've got five sort of things to think about when it comes to imposter syndrome. If you're not sure what imposter syndrome is, it's that feeling that you're a fraud, that you don't belong, that everyone else knows what they're doing and you don't fit in, and you shouldn't be there because you're not skilled enough or you're not good enough. It's very common. I know lots of people in various professions and careers that feel that way at one point or another. And I've had it myself a couple of times. That, oh my God, what am I doing here? Who do I think I am? Trying to do this. But it's easy to overcome. Well, not easy. There are some things you can do and think about to help overcome. And although I'm not a mindset expert or anything like that, there are some things that I can point you in the direction of that will hopefully help. So there's 5 things. I like doing the numbers. It's usually 5, isn't it? Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 7. Always an odd number. I don't know why odd numbers either, but there we go. So I've got 5 things that you can have a think about. So the first one is, and it's easy to say this, but go with me on this one. Stop comparing your achievements with others, because the chances are they've had years more experience than you. So you're not comparing like with like. Okay, if you like, you're on chapter 1 of your book and they're on chapter 20 of theirs. You're not comparing like with like, are you? What you need to do is compare yourself to yourself. So look back 6 months, look back a year, look back 2 years, and see what you were doing then. I know people do post in the group occasionally, look, this is the cake I made last year, and look at the cake I've made today. And they can really see a difference. And I think that is a really useful thing to do. And that's far more valuable than comparing yourself to somebody else. If you admire what someone's doing and think that you're a bit in awe of what they're doing, then learn from it, learn from them, learn how to do what they're doing. And that's the key, because everybody is able to learn things. I'll come on to that again in a minute. So look at how you're improving, and look also at the things that you want to improve in yourself. When I first started making wedding cakes, or started my business rather, I knew that I wanted to make wedding cakes, but I knew that there were things that I didn't know about yet. And my first attempt at sugar flowers was, let's just say, interesting. But I knew that I needed to learn how to do that. So that's what I did. I put in a plan. I invested some money and some time as well. And I learned how to do it. So if there's someone that you admire that you think is doing really well, look at what it is you want to be able to do that they do, and invest some time and money into learning how to do it. Okay. And it's all to do with the power of yet. Don't say I can't do that. Say I can't do that yet. And that little 3-letter word is really powerful, because it means that you're on the way to working out how to do it yourself. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2. Now, this is quite controversial, this one. I've had interesting conversations with people on this. But I stand by this. Let go the need that you have to be talented to do something. I think, personally, this is my take on being talented. I think it's a highly overused word. I think it implies that somebody has an innate ability without having to put any effort into it. And personally, if someone says, oh, you're really talented, I go, thank you, because it's culturally, it's a compliment. but actually it implies that I've not put any effort into the skill that I have, and I have put a lot of effort into it. And I've spent many hours learning how to do what I do. So just saying, oh, I could never do that, I'm not talented, reframe it. Yes, you can learn how to do it. You just need to work out a plan of how you're going to learn how to do it, and you can't do it yet. Think of that little word, it's very powerful. Everyone that you see that you might describe as talented, they've all been at a point where they've not been able to do anything, and before they learnt anything, their skills weren't as good as obviously they are. The ones that you admire, they've had to learn, they've had to have time to practice, they've had to invest time and money. So don't forget that. Don't forget that talented person that you admire, they have spent hours learning how to do it, and you can too. You can too. So refrain the word talent and pick up the word effort and practice and determination. It's a good reframe, that one. Where are we up to? Number 3. We're up to number 3. This is quite an interesting one. Own not knowing something. Be honest about what you know and what you don't know. And this is I was having a conversation the other week with somebody about confidence. I was speaking for their podcast about confidence. And my take is that a confident person knows what they know, but they also know what they don't know. So they can say, oh, I'm not sure about that. Either I'll find out or I'll ask somebody else who does know. Don't feel that just because you don't know everything that you're an imposter or you're a fraud, because not everyone knows everything. Everyone has their things that they know and their areas that they know. So you will have areas that you do know things about, and we'll come to that again in a minute, but you'll have things that you're not quite sure of yet or you don't know yet, and that's absolutely fine. So learn them, find out about them, and put that time and effort in to he's off to the kitchen to make my dinner, to find out about it. So don't expect to know everything about everything, because even the top end bakers don't know everything about everything. They have their thing that they are really good at. I mean, when you look at the people in, for example, Cake International, all those people in magazines, they generally are there because they have one particular skill that they are really very good at, that they are expert at. You ask them about something that's not related to that skill, they're not as likely to know about it. So don't worry that you don't know everything yet, because you won't. Yeah, that's the whole point of building up, particularly if you're new in business. There are all sorts of business things that you're not going to know, because you don't know what you don't know, do you? You only discover things as you go along if you're new to business. So own that you don't know. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Who can help me with that? Or where can I go to find out more about that? And if you confidently say that, rather than apologizing for it, don't ever apologize for not knowing anything. In the group, if I'm asked something, or if someone has a question, I might, and it's outside my realm of knowledge, I'll be like, oh, I'm not sure about that, but perhaps I can find out someone who does know, or point you in the direction of someone who does know about that. Okay, so that's number 3. So number 3 is, don't worry about not knowing things, because we're all here to learn. Number 4, I've talked about number 4 a bit before. Oh, George, that's an interesting question. I like that question, George. I'm just going to pop that up. How do you know you have confidence? Ooh. How do you know you have confidence? Is it something that you know that you have? Yes, I suppose it is something that you know that you have. I think confidence, as I said, I think confidence is knowing what you do know. Yes, I know about this. I know about sugar flowers. I know about how to put together a wedding cake. I'm not as sure about perhaps model making, and carved cakes. I don't do so many of those because I'm not such an expert in those. Um, and there are other things that I'm not so sure about. But I think the confidence is saying, "Oh, I'm not sure about that. I know what I know, um, but I also am happy to say I don't know about that. You'll have to ask somebody else." But that's a really interesting question, George. I like that question. How do you know you have confidence? I suppose it's feeling comfortable with what you know, isn't it? I think that's part of confidence. Being comfortable with what you know, and being okay with what you don't know. You don't let what you don't know worry you. I think that's possibly a part of it, isn't it? There are loads of things I don't know, but I don't let them worry me. If I ever have to know something that I'm not sure about, I'll think, right, well, where can I go to find out about this? Or what do I need to learn to be able to do this? I think perhaps that's part of confidence, I think. Not feeling that you have to know everything. And I think that's key. If someone asks you something, oh, you're a baker, you have a baking business, tell me about this. And you think, oh my goodness me, I don't know anything about that. Just own it. Just say, well, that's not my area of expertise. I do this. You're asking me about that. I'm not sure about that. That's an interesting question. Thank you for that question. I do like having questions. I hope that's given you some sort of an answer, George. I hope that's helped a little bit. Where are we up to? Are we up to number 4? I'm always talking about what I'm telling you about number 4. I do a few mindset sessions, about confidence and all that kind of stuff. And number 4, I'm talking about all the time, which is don't believe everything your brain tells you. Your brain is hardwired to protect you and to keep you from danger and harm. So when you get those negative messages that your brain is telling you, it's because it doesn't want you to risk things and it doesn't want you to be in danger. It's a very, oh, good. I'm glad it did, George. It's a very instinctive part of the brain that you have. It's called the reptilian brain or the caveman brain. It's at the back there. And until that part of the brain is happy, then the rest of the brain doesn't get much of a look in. There is far more to this than I can explain in this time, but that's basically how it works. It's like when you're hungry, you can't think about anything else other than being hungry, or if you're thirsty, or if you're really sleepy. Those things take over your whole brain, and it's because it's your brain saying, this is what I need this right now, and I'm not going to let you think about anything else until I get it. So when your brain is telling you things that are negative, it's because it senses that you're a bit vulnerable and you're in a bit of danger, and it doesn't want you to be in danger. So what you have to do is you have to tell your brain, no, it's actually, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. And things like, this might sound really daft, but breathing slowly, because when you think about it, when you're panicked or you're in danger, your breathing goes faster, doesn't it? So if you breathe slowly, you're giving your brain the signal, oh, perhaps I'm not in danger after all. So that's all right, carry on then. So I'm not an expert in this at all. I was a teacher for 30 years, so I know a bit about how the brain works and how we learn and everything. But I think lots of people get fooled by believing things that their brain tells them. Your brain says, oh, you're no good. What do you think you're doing? Don't believe it. Don't let it overpower your thoughts. Tell your brain, yes, I might not know that, but I'm learning about it. I don't know it yet, so it's okay. It'll be all right. And one thing you can do to help your brain overcome this sort of negativity, and it was one of my top, if you follow my Instagram or Facebook, you'll see on Tuesdays I do a top tip. And this week was make a list of all your successes. And I think this is such a valuable thing to do. And you can do this as you're going along, actually, when things go right. And it doesn't have to be big things. Like I made a 10-tier wedding cake and it didn't fall over and all that kind of stuff. Those are the big things. But the little things, something that you could do today that you couldn't do last week, or some skill that you've learned that you've put into practice, tiny little things, write them all down or take photos of them or whatever it is. So you've got somewhere that you can go to when you're feeling a bit, and what am I doing this for? And everyone else is fabulous. Look at, your bank of, well, actually, I did this. Actually, I've learned how to do that. And that, coupled with the looking at what you did a year ago compared to what you're doing now, will hopefully make you think, oh, yeah, right, I'm on the right track here. All I just need to do is keep going and keep learning. And it'll be fine. Yes. So don't believe everything your brain tells you. It's there to protect you, and it tells you all sorts of things to keep you safe. Okay, now number 5. Number 5, again, is a little bit controversial. Not controversial as such, but it's sort of one of my little bugbears. Number 5 is stop allowing luck to have a part in your achievements. I never wish anyone good luck. I've stopped doing that for a couple of years now, because it dawned on me that actually what you're doing when you're saying good luck is you're saying, well, I hope there's some unseen force in the universe that has a hand in what you're doing, because, it implies that the effort and skill that you put into it isn't going to be enough. Which, again, is with the talent thing, isn't it? I think that's not helpful to say, well, let's hope that the universe aligns and, helps out any skill that you haven't got. It's just nonsense. I prefer to sort of say, go for it. Put in that effort. Make sure you've prepared. Make sure you know what you need to know. And if you don't, go and learn it. Don't expect to just, amble along and expect, oh, if I'm lucky, this will work. No. If you're skilled and you've practiced and you thought about it and you've prepared, it will work. Yeah, don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to luck with any luck. No. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. And that's part of being experienced in baking. You know what potential things might go wrong with the heat, for example. So you're thinking, okay, well, if it's a bit hot, what I might need to do is this, or I might need to tweak that. And as we've seen in the group, if you're not sure about how to deal with any potential problems, you ask, you find out, you see what other people do when that problem arises, and then you put in your own plan, which will work. If it doesn't, then you've learned from it, haven't you? But don't just rely on luck to see you through, because it's not luck that's going to get you where you need to be. It's your determination, your resilience, your perseverance, my 3 favorite words. It's going to be your preparation, your effort that you put into it. All those things are going to get you where you need to be. Okay. So those are my 5 things. It's very, say, imposter syndrome can be quite disabling, particularly when you're perhaps in a big Facebook group like we're in, and people put up their pictures of, oh, this is the cake I made today. It might be quite overwhelming. You think, oh my goodness me, look at that. And look at mine. Oh my goodness. But as I said, number 1 was don't compare yourself to others. That person whose cake you see will have been, put in all sorts of practicing, learn all sorts of things that you might not have done yet. Okay. So don't compare. yourself to other people. If there's something that you think, oh, that's amazing, have the attitude of, I want to learn how to do it like that. Don't have the attitude of, oh, I'll never do that. Have that determination. I want to be as good as that. And I'm going to learn out how to do it. That's what you need. Yeah, you need that grit, that I want to really get good at this. Okay, because that's what's going to power you through, and that's what's going to make your business a success. There we go. So there we are. So those are my 5 things.